We are now on to the YouTube. There we go. We are now live. Welcome to the Life with Joey Calvin podcast on YouTube. I apologize to the YouTube audience. We were having issues, but I have the most beautiful. Oh my God. I got to do one of these now. I literally have to do one of these.
Joey.
Because she is beautiful. She's amazing. In the time I've gotten to know her, I mean, so much is like, it was almost like we're having this relationship that kind of can't happen. But it's an awesome relationship. So Jayna, thank you for your patience. Thank you now for being on YouTube. And you look amazing. I mean, I don't know. I'm if I start melting, folks, this is why. Okay? This is why. I mean, I was mentioning earlier through the podcast part, she did some reels, and this is how I came across her. She did some reels on Instagram, and she's in her bedroom, and the caption, I think, was, "How do I get ready for my day?" And all of a sudden, she took her hair out, and all of a sudden, boom, I was like, oh my God. I was like, what? I mean, if I could not do something bad, and I've been apologizing off on because, like I said, I shouldn't be going as deep as I want to on this, but I mean, what can I say? I mean, she looks like a model. Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably about I don't know how many male followers you have offhand, but every male follower has probably tried to ask her out. But see, when she did a story of the relationship, and she was mentioning it before we finally got live on YouTube, she's in this age gap relationship, and I was like, damn, is he lucky? I was like, damn. And she looks like she's 21, guys. She looks like she's 21. Janet, like I said, I got to do one of these because this is how I feel right now. I mean, she, and there is this one reel she did of watching the 5 little things. So I'm trying to watch that she doesn't do any of them, because if she does any of them, I'm in trouble. There we go. I caught one. I'm not saying what it is, guys, but I caught it. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta stay calm here. All right, so in all seriousness, Janet, we're gonna go right back to the beginning. Yeah. How did you get started being a love and intimacy coach? I know we said it in the phone version, and again, I apologize to the YouTube community, and because, like I said, with the issues with the internet. So I'm going to let Jayna talk, and I'm going to shut up for a minute.
You're so kind, Joey. You're so kind. So there are a lot of different things that led me to what I'm doing today. But one of the primary ones is over the last 10 years, I've had a cleaning business. So I did commercial and residential cleaning. I cleaned everything from office buildings, homes, to doing medical offices, to doing post-construction. And during that time, I was moving my way into health and fitness. So I was part-time a health and fitness coach, and I'm really passionate about the food that we put into our body and how we can fight disease by eating better, as well as moving our body regularly, because movement and nutrients are, in my opinion, the best way to fend off disease and depression and all of these other things that we struggle with. So I was constantly trying to get people to eat better and exercise, and I just couldn't get them to do it. And so I learned that motive matters. And so instead of asking people if they wanted to live a longer life, I started to ask people if they wanted to have better sex. And they were like, yes, I do. What do I got to do? I'll do anything for it. And so that's when I was like, all right, eat right and exercise. And so it was easier to get people to start to view their world from this perspective of, okay, so I may not like living a long time and living with vitality is something that motivates me. Now, that might not motivate someone else. So I started to learn that when I can package something up and bring someone in with what they want and then give them what it is they really need, I can do a lot more for people. So while yes, I am a love and intimacy coach, only about 10 to 15% of what I do is actually sex education. Everything else that I'm doing, mostly about 80+% of what I do with people, my clients and specifically, is mental and emotional work. We also do a lot of health and fitness. I am always encouraging people to get out in the sunshine, to drink lots of water, to breathe, to move their body every day, get a good sweat going. All of these aspects of life are very important to us. So our mental health, our physical health, and our emotional health are super, super powerful. And then that leads into the one thing that most people are missing. While somebody else might have a great diet and they have a great workout routine and they're sleeping and they're drinking water and they're doing all of those things, their love life usually suffers. That's the one link in the chain that's a little bit more wobbly than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I come in and I bring my experience and all of the books that I've read, the lectures I've sat through, all of the accreditations that I bring to the table as well. And that's where I help people with that one wobbly link. I like to see it as a Venn diagram. You've
Yeah.
got 3 sections.
Mm-hmm.
You have your happiness, which is happiness mentally and kind of just life in general. Then you have your healthiness, which is, you're eating right and you're working out, and then health mentally as well. So mental health. So happiness, healthiness, as well as financial health. That also kind of slides into that portfolio as well. Then the last one is horniness. So you have happy, healthy, and horny. And if one of these is not balanced in that Venn diagram, then it's going to be a little bit skewed. What we want to do is try and find the harmony. You want to try and hit that middle spot to where you're balanced between those 3. And I think that the people who have the balance of all of those things, then they usually live the best lives.
Yeah. Well, I actually have a surprise for you, Jane. If you look at the bottom of the ticker.
Okay. Which ticker?
At the bottom of your screen.
Okay.
You should see that it says, please follow the very beautiful Jayna Swan on Instagram at Jayna.Swan.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Because, like I said, and you mentioned about the horniness, and this is a mature podcast, even though it's been more wild than mature. But when I first came across you, I don't know how many other guys would probably ever say this, but that was probably the first thing that came through their mind when they saw you, came across you.
Probably.
Because, like I said, I mean, guys, like I said, look how she's a goddess. Okay, she looks like a goddess. I like in the back of my mind, I still can't keep wanting to not do this half the time because I mean, I'm losing words because I mean,
well, lifting weights, eating your greens, eat lean protein, drink lots of water, and move your body every day. Those are things that will give you the goddess mode.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. There you go, ladies. Take it from Jayna. If you want to be great, that's how you have to do it. But we know nobody can be perfect. So, oh boy. Okay, when it was a phone interview, it wasn't as tense inside of me. But like I said, I mean, I'm like beside myself of what I'm going to say. But constant, you did mention that clients have been coming to you about more of the sexual issue now, and as more nutritional. But there's one thing that I caught on her Instagram profile, which is at the bottom ticker-wise on YouTube, guys. So, on where you can follow her. But she also, and right now, she's done that to me through Instagram, is hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, like I'm admitting, I just can't stop. I mean, if you're looking at her on YouTube right now, she looks like she's 21 years old. I'm not asking her age. I'm not going to I don't need to know her age. Okay. And she just mentioned earlier on the phone wise, she just became a grandma at a young age to a 4-year-old step grandchild, you know? So, but when I first came across her, like I said, by accident in a reel, I got hypnotized because it was the beauty I'm looking at. And I really want to get to know her, you know? And you know, like I said, one thing led to another, and here we are. And I mean, if this doesn't start October, what wouldn't? You know, what wouldn't? But one thing we had touched upon on Instagram, like I said, she does these reels, and I said about the one of the 5 things that she did, and hopefully she does not do it again, because I'm trying to keep my urge controlled here, you know. But like I said, she's got very beautiful long hair. She does. I mentioned it in the phone part earlier when we were having the issues. I am, most people would have a fetish of some kind. I like long hair women, especially when it comes to having sex, because of the excitement and the emotion. Well, not the emotion, but the the hormones really just really building up. So I did a little this or that for her. Now, I did give her a heads up that I was going to do this. It's only 4 items, and believe me, here they are. Now, if she feels uncomfortable answering these, I'm going to understand. But at the same time, I'm curious, because I know most of my answers on these, because I even tested myself with them. But actually, as I was writing up, I was like, I know what I am. Let's try this one, So the first one is this: dating apps or in-person meeting?
Easy. In person, always.
Yes, I agree to that. Because
would you like explanation as to why?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Dating apps can be easy for casting the net wide and being able to bring in more suitors. But one thing I find is lacking whenever you're going through the internet or a phone is you can figure out if you have connection with a human, where you can talk and you can go deep and you can really have that connection. You can also find out if you're compatible with them. So if you have the same goals in life, you're headed in the same direction. But one thing you cannot figure out through a dating app is chemistry. I actually in the past have had bad experiences with investing months and months of my time into one person, thinking, oh, this is amazing, talking to them on the phone and texting. There's so much chemistry. And then I actually met them in person, and it was a flat line. There was nothing there. So
well, I'm going to admit it, but I'm going to hold that answer to that statement, because you see that beautiful smile on her face, because she knows what I'm going to say. So, because like you said, we did mention that before. She asked that actually on Instagram, and I answered it, and she's like, she agreed, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, there's chemistry already. Now the fun part. Now this is going to bring a little bit back of a memory to her, because she just got through with this. Ocean view or mountain view?
That's tough. That's tough. I really connect with the water, but I've always lived in Florida. So for me, I'm more fascinated by mountain views because I don't see them as much. But when you can get an ocean view with a mountain behind it.
Yep. That's why I said that, because I picked that, because she just got back from a nice little trip, and it had both. So she got to do a little, she did a little chatting, a little getaway. If she looked on my Life with Joey Cow Instagram page, she will see more of Atlantic City than she would of Vegas. Because now in December, I usually do a year-end podcast. This year, I'm looking at Vegas. And this time, I'm looking at the Rio, which gives you a mountain view view. And I'm like, I've never saw a mountain view. Had never had a mountain view. So something I'm looking forward to. So next one, and this one is a tough one because I didn't know how I wanted to do this. Stand-up romance or cuddle?
Ooh. I'm a huge cuddler. It is every night, the end of the night on the couch, it is me cuddles all day.
I am the same way. All right. Now, this one's going to be the real backbreaker. And like I said, if she doesn't want to answer this one, I'm going to understand. I'm going to respect it. Top or bottom?
Top or bottom, you're going to need to explain a little bit more because this has multiple meanings.
Okay. Top or bottom? I should have explained it. I should have wrote it a little bit better when I did it.
Or is it a body part?
Kind of a sexual body part.
Is it choosing whether I like to look at or whether I like to be in the role of during the act?
The mood, the position, I'll state.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a sexual position. Let me say it that way. Like I said, it was tough for me to really figure out how I want to explain that.
That's fine.
And like I said, if it's too far of a boundary, again, I apologize. But I'm waiting to hear
it's a great way. The terms, there's terms for everything. Yeah. Top or bottom could be used in a same-sex relationship to be able to explain the roles. Sub or dom is another way of positioning those. And I would say for me personally, it's more of the sub, so it would be more of the bottom role. But that could be in any form or fashion. Doesn't necessarily mean it's always on the bottom. But
okay. So if this was a compatibility test, guess what? We both passed. We both got the same thing. Because actually we got you said both for ocean or mountain. So
yeah, I cheated a little bit there.
Yeah, but in a way I did too, but I never had a mountain view room until like I said, hopefully in December. So if she wasn't in the relationship, the awesome relationship she's in right now, we would be compatible. We would be in trouble because I'm an Aries.
Ooh, spicy.
And I'm one of those that likes to jump head first, like they say. So now, oh boy, I don't know how to get off of this one. This one was too good. Oh, I know what I can do. A little birdie via her Instagram is doing a podcast finally.
Is that me?
Yeah.
I've been doing my best to get it out there for a while, but I had a lot of other commitments. But yes, we are at a point where I am pushing it. So we are.
Would you like some advice?
Go for it. I'd love it.
Okay. This platform we're on?
Yes, you really like it? Good.
Actually, I only had one issue. What happened was I did a scleroderma. Maybe this might interest you even because I've been doing scleroderma town halls.
Okay.
And I've had a group of people, and every one of them is on YouTube as well. And what happened was a person came on late and it knocked everybody off for a minute, but I got everybody back on. So it knocked everybody off for a minute because there was an issue getting that person in. But I love this platform because it lets you now, as of 5 days from now, not Instagram. Facebook is not going to be used for this. So I have it set up to where it goes right to the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Okay. But what I just did now is there's another website, and when I first sent the email of, confirming everything, it's podpage.com/life-with-joey-calvo. I now have it to where all the YouTube videos now go onto that, besides the audio. Now, I was telling her in the beginning that I use anchor.fm, which is at the bottom of the screen there as well. Here's anchor.fm.
Yep.
Zippo. We've had at least 1,500 downloads in 2 years. So I just gave her my video that I did 2 months ago on how to start a podcast at almost no cost. But I do ask viewers and listeners, please do support the podcast, because I do pay for a website on WordPress. It's lifewithjoeycalvo.blog. And I pay for the domain name, and I pay for the blogging website itself on WordPress. It comes like to $50 a year. But being that right now I am not working and getting my health together, I do ask for support that way, because that way when this is due, when the website's due next year, I can say, okay, we got this. So Jayna now has 2 platforms she can work with at almost no cost. She's got her YouTube channel, so all she has to do is connect her YouTube to it, and boom, she's got everything going. And at the bottom of the banner on the screen, at the bottom, we have, please follow the very beautiful Jayna Swan on Instagram at jayna.swan. Please follow her YouTube channel at Jayna Swan. So what's next besides the podcast?
What's next for me? So the podcast is actually something I'm doing because I've had so many people on Instagram, which is my primary hangout spot on the internet right now. I've had a ton of people in my messages asking for help, and I've been able to help hundreds of people, but it's becoming to a point it's really not scalable. So the podcast is going to be a live hotline call-in show where people can book a 15-minute slot, ask their question, and I can give them live feedback, so that I'm getting the benefit of having some content and being able to have other people listen to me and how I coach and giving some advice, but other people can get help without having to have such a big financial barrier, because so many people tend to see my coaching pricing and they're like, I just can't do that, but I want the help. So if they're willing and able to, and they are willing to put their information to a degree out on my platform and allow it to be on my podcast, that's what I'm doing with the hotline. So I'm doing that, as well as bringing other guests on. I have quite a few guests who will be coming on. But outside of that, I'm really focused on my 2 workshops, and they're really online courses. So I've got one called 6 Weeks to Sexy, and it's all about the feminine energy, and it's for my ladies. So in that program, we do a lot of dancing and learning how to drop into our feminine. We talk about wardrobe. We talk about, how to build your lingerie portfolio. I guess you're just a bunch of lingerie outfits and how to mix and match. We also talk about self-pleasure and sex toys and relationships and communication. I also have my men's program, which is a complete parallel. So I have my feminine side and my masculine side. So my masculine program is the Modern Day Gentleman. I just ran that for the first time. I believe it was 2 months ago or 1 month ago. I can't even remember. I feel like it was just yesterday.
I think she came across one just now, though.
Yes, a modern day gentleman.
Yes.
It's a great course for anybody, and you don't have to be, you could be single, or you could be married, or you could be at the beginning of a relationship, or going through a divorce. At any time in life, this is going to be a great program. The program really just teaches you core values and characteristics that will make you a better human, really. And the reason that they're labeled as a feminine and a masculine program is because in our masculine, we tend to be more visual. We want more stats and statistics, and we
Mhm.
want to know why this, why that, and have more detailed information. So I use a flip chart. I write on the board. I give stats and statistics
Mhm.
on all of those different topics. In the feminine program, there's no PowerPoint slides. There are no flip charts. It's just me and you, me and the camera. We connect on a more emotional basis, and we talk more generally. So the concepts and ideas are more big picture on one program and more specific on the other program. So they're both like near and dear to my heart. I've had them transform many people's lives. I've had students who came in after losing children to suicide and finally moving their body for the first time and reconnecting with their feelings and their emotions, which is pretty powerful to take someone through. I've had on the flip side people who have been struggling with dating over and over and over finally leave my men's program and go out and have success in the dating market and being able to
Mhm.
pull people in. People come in with confidence issues across the board, and that's one of the things I love helping people with the most is being able to walk in and confidently enter a room knowing I am here, and
Yeah.
being able to go through that, because as much as you've been complimenting me, I have not always been this person. I have not always been what you describe. In fact, I was the weird kid. I was the one who was bullied. That was me all day. That's why I
Yeah.
didn't get along.
And that and you know what? It gets to me today. I could walk out and I try to be as open as I can. But I'll walk out the door and the first thing is like I'll see I'm using you as an example
Right.
because I like to take walks. And I see a beautiful woman.
Sorry.
Did it again, guys. You gotta watch carefully, guys. You gotta watch those little subtle hints that she throws. I'm gonna have her explain those five very quickly in a minute, because we're almost getting to the end of time, and I'm sorry we had like I said, the issues with the YouTube platform, but I will go out. I could walk. I'll see a couple holding hands, and I'll get depressed like hell because I'm missing the person I spend time with. Two, I feel the loneliness inside.
Mhm.
And three, seeing like a person like you, I'm like, there is no way in hell that woman would want to go out with you like that. As much as I could compliment like I do with you and anybody, they could take one look at me and they'll think I'm a creep or look creepy looking. And I'm like, okay, thanks. That just made my day. You know, um, the complicated relationship that just came by. Well, no, it started slowly a little
Mhm.
bit. I'll state this. It started slowly, and I didn't think anybody would have taken a look at me and been interested, you know. And within the complication part, this person started to realize I treat, like I said, I do my best to make ladies feel special,
Mhm.
like I've been doing with you, and this is why I'm like been like this because I probably if and this is situational. If her and I were dating, I would be like literally following her shadow, walking, literally just bowing down to her because she's an amazing person. And I got to learn that in 2 weeks. As bad as I'm feeling about saying it, and having those little crushes and all that, but like I said, when I saw the real part of it, I said, okay, I got to take that step back. But at the same time, I can still be the person that I am now, and still, literally be or how can I overwhelming the person. And I think that's what people see, is they get so overwhelmed if someone's smitten with them that they freak out. And I try my hardest not to, but it's like I just have this big heart, and it's like, and it gets to me. It
Are
gets
you open to feedback, Joey?
Go for it.
Okay. So to kind of simplify it a little bit, when you talk, one of the first things you said was you automatically projected that there's no way that this person would be interested in me. And when you do that before you even walk into the room, then you're already going to put yourself in the position that that's most likely what that person will see in you, because that's a story you're already running. And when you tell yourself that psychologically, it changes your state, which means you're not in a confident state. You're now in a more self-doubt filled state, which changes your inner vibration, because we are vibrational beings. We're just atoms bouncing around.
Yeah.
So when you're putting that thought into your mind and you're saying that internally, you're now vibrating at a lower level. So when you run into someone like myself who does not say those things about herself, in fact, I say things to bolster myself up, not in a cocky way, but in a confident way, because I know that I can follow through with action. I'm vibrating on a high level.
Yeah.
So when you have someone vibrating on a high level and someone vibrating on a low level, they're actually going to repel each other. They're not really going to be too attracted.
Right.
So the first step that I would encourage is, instead of saying that, just say, I'm going to show up as my best self. And if she likes it, then she likes it. And if she doesn't, then she doesn't.
Well, I do wind up being that way, but at the same time, it's just in the back of my mind. Like I said, if I saw you, and I mean, I might come up and say hi, and if you're playing a cash man slot machine, because I do play slots, and that's where most of the time I do socialize.
Yeah,
is like,
and that's great.
You know, like,
keep doing that,
or like this morning, after I got out of the gym, the Walmart opened early, and there were these two employees. One had her hair up like my ex-wife had it. And one had a ponytail, and I just complimented them. And I mean, they said thank you, and I try to put a smile on their face at least.
Yeah.
For doing that part. But at the same time, I'm like, if I try to say something else, now the cashier went a little more, and she's like, not many people would say it because they don't realize it. But it's just, I catch it. I'll catch if it's lengthy or not. Like, I can make a judgment on that, which deep down I shouldn't. But it's just, I just see
Another
that.
recommendation, if you're open to it, is, instead of complimenting physical, which I know that you absolutely love long hair, you've stated that a couple times, so I can see why
too many times.
It's easy for you to compliment, but I'll push you a little bit, and I'm going to push you to stretch yourself and do compliments of things that you can't see. So instead of complimenting them on the way that they physically look, which is something people get complimented that way all the time, that's surface level. You're picking the easy fruit. Instead, notice how they treated the customer in front of them, and say, compliment them on their kindness, compliment them on their ability to notice things, compliment them on their work ethic, on their outfit, in the sense of not how the outfit looks, but the effort that went into putting the outfit together. Going a step deeper and getting those kind of compliments, that's what's going to get their attention to go, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Because they're used to getting, I am told every body part on my body has been complimented thousands of times. And it's like, that's great. But are you actually seeing me, or are you just seeing the being that is right in front of you?
And that's what gets to me, is because I look at the being. But see, you, since I've gotten to know you and followed you on Instagram at Jayna.Swan, and she follows me, which is great as well. I started to see a little more of the inside of her, of the the words that she used, and even though at the same time your focus is on the outside, I do try to look at the inside. I really do. And she's been a sweetheart the whole time. I will admit that, because she has worked on every little thing on me over this past 57 minutes, from the phone to the stress level, getting into the podcast, getting this all done. And even though she's thrown the little hair flipping around, and I feel bad. We're gonna do another podcast where I'm gonna have you explain those 5 things. But as I've gotten to know her, and I get to read those things, like the one, like I said, that she did, when she got out of the pool, put her hair up, and I'm gonna make this quick because we're almost out of time. Put the hair up and lip sync. What you do is not your problem. What I do is not your problem. I was like, that is me, And I keep saying it, and I literally took her post and made it on my Facebook stories.
Oh, very cool.
Because there's so much you can get from Jayna. There is so much, and it's like I feel bad at the same time, because of the being, but I wanted to get to know her. I really do. I admit it, and we've been going back and forth on some things, but it was just stopping at the beauty, because on my part, because you look like a model. You look like a Playboy. Well, let me take that back. Supermodel. Scratch the Playboy, guys. Scratch the Playboy.
I take it as a compliment. I really do. I have not always looked this way, Joey. So I appreciate that.
Okay. So we got 20 seconds. Promote yourself.
20 seconds. Promote myself. Go to Jayna.Swan on Instagram. That's where you'll find most of my materials. If not, you can also go to swanacademy.live. The Swan Academy is my main business, and that's where I do all my coaching. We do webinars, we do courses, I do all sorts of stuff.
Hold on one moment. Mm-hmm. Okay. The podcast part is done.
Wonderful.
We're going to stay on YouTube a little bit.
All right.
Okay. I'm only going to keep her a little bit, because I'm trying to catch up the time that we lost with that. But at the same time as we're talking, continue promoting yourself. So,
you can. Oh, I'm going live on Twitch now. We just did that for the first time today. We're doing our best to expand our reach elsewhere. I know there's a lot of different people that could utilize this information. So anything I can do to educate, elevate, and empower my audience and my community is really what I'm here to do.
Okay. So, one thing I'm going to show you is I'm recording this. Okay, as it was recorded and it's downloading right now. I'm actually sponsored by Anchor.fm.
Very cool.
So you actually make a penny off of each download you get.
Very cool.
So to give you a heads up when you try to find the platforms to do your podcast, and I know you probably go on Patreon, because Patreon, that's where you can get the membership. You can also do that on here too. You could do it.
There are a lot of different ways. I actually have a virtual group coaching membership, which will get. They get the most of me when it comes to people outside of my direct one-on-one clients. And that's...
And I love one.
Yes, he gets the most. I love my virtual group coaching. Twice a month, I do a live for them. That's just specific to them. It's not public. And they can chat, as well as they get access to a Discord group. And in the Discord is where we do all the private chatting. And so I put a lot of my focus there. which is really exciting to me to build that.
Okay. All right. Oh, Jayna, I truly thank you so much. I mean, you started a month that you're the reason what started this October, believe it or not. Because I actually have, and I know, well, when you got the email Friday, I was promoting on here and on the podcast itself. I was promoting how great. Here we go again. I gotta keep my count for a minute. There we go. Okay. I can't help it. I am so sorry. I'm trying to control that urge part, because again, the outside being, but when I went to promote this, I mean, I was in high heaven, because not only did I get you, I have an adult artist, who I met on a, crazy as it sounds, porn website, and she has a YouTube channel as well, and she's a member of our band. So she's on next week, and I don't know if you ever watched the show Blue Bloods.
No, I haven't.
It's the show with Tom Selleck.
Okay.
As New York Police Commissioner Frank Reagan.
Okay.
And his family. His daughter is an assistant district attorney, and all his sons, except for, well, one passed away, are all cops.
Okay.
And his father was the previous police commissioner.
Okay.
Well, in the one, what they call in actuality, One Police Plaza, which is the main headquarters for the New York Police Department, I have the actor who plays Garrett, who does the public relations.
Okay.
Gregory Jabara. He's willing to come on the podcast. I wished him a happy birthday. And I turned around and I said, listen, I do this podcast. Would you like to come on? And we could talk your career. We could talk Blue Bloods. He's like, Joey, I would love to do it. And just like with you, my jaw went like, I could not believe myself. I was like, and I had, and just to give you an idea of the guests I've had on this podcast, okay, besides you, I've had Melissa Martin. I don't know if you ever heard of her. She's on Instagram as well, at the Melissa Martin on Instagram. And she's a business embodiment coach.
Okay.
And I just had her on. So if you go through the YouTube channels, if you go through the YouTube videos, she's the second one since this one.
Very cool.
Yeah. I've had the 3 Scourger town halls. Now, I don't know if you would be interested in wanting to come on there and maybe helping these people get through their struggle, because scleroderma is a hardening of the skin. Okay. And there are some of them. Matter of fact, the one that I came across. Matter of fact, the complicated relationship I have. Mm-hmm. That person was diagnosed with scleroderma in 2016. And that's what got me into this. Okay. Into the scleroderma. There are some that, like there's a guy that's out out near Harrisburg, and he has where his hand, he can function. Right. But his skin's tightened up to where, you may think in the back of your mind he looks like a monster. Not thinking, that it's an autoimmune disease. Right. Causing it. But we've been talking about trying to get somebody on to maybe motivate them more, to motivate their group, because they're also group leaders. Right. So they run these little groups once a month. And I don't know if that would be an interest for you. If it is, it would be the end of this month. if I
I
do.
would need more information to ensure that it's within my scope of practice,
Yeah,
considering
yeah.
it is a
It's
diagnosed autoimmune disorder. I don't know if I would be the right person, but I'd be
okay.
willing to look into it.
Yeah, I mean they're just looking for we're looking for somebody that can just motivate them and without thinking in the back of their mind they got this autoimmune disorder.
Right.
So
But I
that's
want to ensure any advice or any feedback that's given is still within my scope of practice, as I'm not a doctor.
right,
So
right. No,
there's
and I
just when it
understand
comes
that.
to things that are diagnosed, then
Yeah,
it does get into that gray area, and I'm really, really want to respect boundaries of
right.
giving that to
No.
someone who's within scope.
Yeah, and I understand that. That's why I'm saying it was the
Mhm.
thought.
Yeah.
So we've got a podcast coming up. Will you have more YouTube videos? Because you posted
Yes.
the last time she posted a YouTube video
It's a long
was
time ago.
a long time ago, and she was like, "I will be posting one every week." And I kept looking, and I didn't see anything past a year. I was like, "Okay." It's like, boy, that was some week, you know. Like
Yep.
that's what
It was
I'm trying to do once a week now.
Yeah,
Um,
it became too much. I was, highly editing those videos, and I was
yeah.
spending 4 to 6 hours behind the computer, and I found that my zone of genius and excellence is actually working with people. So
Mm-hmm.
as I start to delegate more of those processes out to other people who have better skills than I can and do it faster, then yes, I plan to take my Twitch lives
Mm-hmm.
and breaking those down into videos that will become YouTube videos. So it is on the list, Joey. I promise you, my YouTube channel will not be as sad as it is today for always.
It's not sad.
It is
I
sad.
did not say it was sad. I never did. I mean, like I said, I got to learn a little more about you, what you were looking forward to.
Mhm.
Like I said, having you on this podcast. I mean, as much as I'm melting inside because of the outside of you, the inside of you is cheering me up because you took time out and coming on a podcast that 7 people listen to, but they also go out through other platforms because this is actually on 10
Mhm.
platforms like Spotify,
Yep.
Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. So actually, I don't know how many actual listeners I've had. It just says I have 1,500 plus downloads, but that's it.
Joey, even if it was just you and I talking, that would make me happy.
You're
I'm
gonna
not
be
here
crying.
for the numbers.
You're gonna have me crying in a minute.
I'm just here
You're
to help
gonna have me.
people, and if it's 7 people, then that's 7 more people that I get to help. That's
Yeah,
how I see it.
yeah. But when I give you the link, when you just tell everybody to go to the YouTube channel, I mean, hopefully now the most listeners I've had on one podcast, this was before this came around, was 80.
That's great.
But it took time.
Yeah.
I think the top 5 were like 80, and they were all classmates of mine, with the exception of one. And that person was a former CBS local meteorologist
Okay.
who had just left, wrote a book called My Happy Place. And her name's Katie Fellinger. She's on Instagram. And she wrote a book called My Happy Place. And it entails her what she was battling.
Yeah.
Between the job and within herself and those mood swings that I probably have. Like, there are nights that I will literally say, I wish I had somebody with me because I hate being alone. I really do. When I go down to Atlantic City or when I went to Vegas, I was by myself. Did I really think I had a good time? Yeah, I could say I had a good time. Do I wish I had somebody with me? Of course. Because it takes, how can I say it this way? People will say I'm addicted to slot machines. Okay, I could say that. Only because I made a mistake 13 years ago that cost me a lot. And so I try to watch that boundary. So that's been my out. That's been my comfort zone.
Okay.
So when I go, not a lot of people are like, well, I'll go hang out with you at the casino. They don't, because they don't like to do it. But when I try to find something else, it's kind of harder because of what happened back then. And it ruffles the feathers. And it's not that I don't get uncomfortable. I've gotten past it. I've learned, that's over, done with, but yeah, in the back of my mind, I will always have a little black cloud over my head because of that. But it's something I've learned to deal with, But most of the time, it's like I just wish either the person I spend time with was near me, so I can just cuddle up and enjoy time with them, and anything to get my mind off a slot machine.
Okay.
And I've said it a couple times. I've actually said it a couple times. But no one, it's like, it's not that no one grabs it. It's just no one wants to take that step and say, you know what? Let's do that. I mean, and I also have another friend that I almost put her on the spot and asked her to come on here because she was having some issues. And then I felt bad. I was like, I feel bad for putting you on the spot for wanting to come on because this person was having issues within themselves, And I literally turned around. I was going to, quote unquote, use myself to help that person get better, only because of that. But I knew, just like I knew with you, as I got to know you over the past 2 weeks, there's that boundary. I gotta watch that little boundary in between, going all the way and, where it's at right now. And I was, in the back of my mind, I was like planning all this stuff. And my plan within all that was no slot machines. My focus was on that person only, doing what I can to make that person feel better. That person is still not feeling better because they're still not comfortable. And I literally became like you. I literally said, and I'm doing my hardest not to mention the person's name, but the way I stated it was this: you still had feelings for this person when you're now with this person. I said, you need to let go of that. And this guy, I can't see. Well, yeah, I can't say he's almost like I could be when I'm in a good term with myself, which 95% of the time I will say that. The caring and being there and like I've been doing with you, and it's just mainly all that. But at the same time, she doesn't want the relationship to go any further than a friend. And I can't say that's the struggle I have on it, but I also respect it. So like I said, I try to watch what I do in reference to that boundary and trying to be careful on how, if I cross it, because if I cross it, like I've been doing with you, you see how quickly I apologize, because that should not be the person I am. I should be the person who cares, is there, makes them feel like they're special, and put them on a pedestal. So practically, if it was you, that's what I would be literally doing. I would be like worshiping the ground you walk on, literally, because if I was to post something with somebody, I'm like, I've got this great person I'm enjoying the time, and I'm not thinking of a slot machine. I'm thinking of that person. Right. And that's where I want to bring the focus to within me. I mean, when I go to see that complicated relationship, my focus stays with that person. Mm-hmm. But when I try to take it out more, it gets difficult because either that person has an issue that they can't get out there, or if I turn around, even ask anybody, even friends, to come down, they have their lives, and I respect that. Either they're working, or they're watching their football games. But I try to bring the social back to me.
Right.
So I'm going to end it at this point because I'm getting too carried away, and Jayna, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know I opened up too much of me. And again, if it sounded like I went too far in some statements, I truly do apologize because, like I said a minute ago, this is the person I am. I'll compliment you up and down the street until I'm blue in the face. And I do my best to look at the inside. And like I said, getting to know you has been an amazement because there's so much more to you to see. There's more than those reels where you get like hot and steamy and you got somebody going wild off of it and literally get sexual off of it. Sorry to say that. But at the same time, as I got to know you, I'm seeing that inside. And like you said earlier, you were bullied. Guess what? So was I until I got into high school. And then everybody started to see me as a person, but not the full person. Because, you get your clothes at Kmart. That tells you how old I am. And I just turned 50. Okay? I'll admit it. Matter of fact, I had model Carol Alt on. Okay? I'm not going to say how old. I will say she's older than I am. But she looks great. Now, I had her on last year, and it became a 2-part because I'm a Howard Stern fan. Mm-hmm. But she also did a TV show. And like I mentioned about this adult actress, and the directions I go to just please me. But having you on today and talking to you over the past couple of weeks has been a please. I mean, do I wish in the back of my mind I was dating you? Oh, hell yeah. But at the same time, I do respect that age gap relationship you're in. And do my hardest to understand that. But like I said, having you on is like the best thing in the world. Do I wish I could see you a lot? Yes. I really do.
And you can just tune in on Instagram.
I know, but I also gotta, like I said, I gotta watch the other part of it. The horniness you called it. Because some of those videos were that. I mean, I'm not gonna
interpret it in many ways.
Oh, yeah, but that was it was like I wish I saw that in person. Though it was like. I just wished it because that's what I miss. I miss that. I'm not saying the relationship I have did that. I mean, we had that years ago. But, we're getting older. But, like I said, with you, it's like you brought it back. And But at the same time, I'm apologizing because I'm like, this woman's in a relationship. You can't say this. You got to be careful how you say it. And when you do say it, you got to be in the nicest terms that doesn't offend the person. So, like I said, I'm throwing up walls, but at the same time, I'm saying what I need to say, what I want to say, because you need to hear it. I mean, and like I said, you're amazing. You're beautiful. You're a great personality to get to know.
Thank you.
And you truly are, Jayna. And like I said, over the past couple of weeks, I was like, I can't wait to do this podcast because this person is so amazing, and it got me so more interested in you. And at the same time, like I said, with the interest, I'm like, watch what you're doing because of those boundaries. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait to go there, you know? So anytime you want to come on, you tell me. Jayna, I mean, the door is wide open. I mean, anytime. Don't be afraid to ask. Just literally come to me and say, Joey, I got to promote something. I got to come on. We got to do something, you know? Because believe it or not, when I post these, I also post them on the website. And I've had people from, and I'm taking more of your time than I should be. And I'm feeling bad at that too. But at the same time, you've let me get so much out. And I probably will be in tears by the end of this because I'm like, you know, so much came out that at the same time, like I said, the boundaries, I'm afraid I'm crossing them. You know, I don't know until later on, and all of a sudden you unfollow me from Instagram or you turn around and say, I'm not interested in coming on your podcast anymore, you know, stuff like that. And then, you know, then I'm like, I hit something. Or I'll you know, of course I'll get the those naysayers like, you made her feel uncomfortable. She's like squirming, like she wants to get the hell out of there, you know. And one of my classmates actually told me that. They literally said that person felt so uncomfortable because I was being like I was to you. And I got so upset. And all I kept doing, I was like in defense mode that whole time. And to this day, I would still be in defense mode, apologizing for, you know, going out of bounds and you know, getting carried away. Because, like I said, that's the caring me. That's the me I love bringing out, you know?
Well, be you, Joey. Be you. And just wait until someone tells you that you've crossed a boundary. Because at no point today have you crossed a boundary. Because if you had, I would have told you. Yeah. And so you're fine. Just breathe. Take a deep breath. Trust your intuition. Trust your gut. And when something comes up to say, just say it and trust it.
Yeah. Right now, I'm trusting my gut. I'm watching the words I'm saying to it. Because those words could be explicit, you know, like I said, the outside being. So that's why I'm, like I said, watching how I'm saying. But I at the same time, I truly thank you because you're amazing. You're an amazing person. And I really want to get to know you more. I really do. Because, you know, when we did this or that, I mean, we connected. We really did. And as much as it amazes me, I didn't think that would happen. I really didn't. But at the same time, you know, I want to get to know the inside of you. You know, the heart that you have. I mean, I've seen, like I said, on your Instagram, I've seen, you know, those posts that you've seen, and you know your date night, and you posted him, and I was like, you know, like I said, you know, like I'm saying, I mean, he's the luckiest guy in the world because, I mean, guys like me would be groveling for you at this point. And I mean, like you even said, you get that every day, and is she, are you available? Would you be interested in going out with me? And the other guest I had, Melissa Martin, the same way. If you go to her Instagram, it's the same thing. It was the outside being, but at the same time, I now watch what I do with that as well, like I will with you, because, like I said, I don't want to. I know the boundaries, but at the same time, I've got to respect them. So I just can't. I got because. Oh my gosh, I've never broken down as bad as this. You're a Wonder Woman, okay, Jayna, you really are. And I thank you for that. As much as I'm a Wonder Woman fan, I mean, you don't need the tiara, you don't need the lasso of truth. You are, and I applaud you for what you do. I really do.
Thank you.
I really do, and like I said, I'll probably be crying in a little bit because I'm saying it because it's my heart. I've been saying that for years. It's not that no one sees it, but they look at it and they're like, oh, well, he's thinking of sex. Well, I don't think sex all the time, as much as I miss it. But, I mean, there's so much more. I mean, could I say I'm infatuated with you? Yeah, I'll admit that. But at the same time, that infatuation could be changing as time goes by. It could be more than just the physical want and so on. It's like I just said to you, you're a Wonder Woman because of who you are and what you do and what you brought out.
Thank you.
I can't thank you enough. And at the same time, as much as I'm going to be apologizing later on for any boundaries I feel like I did cross, even within myself, probably that's why I'm going to be crying later. But I mean, it's just you're just that wonderful. I mean, the outside, yeah, I could go on forever on that. I can, worship that. But as I'm getting to know the inside of you, and it's really touching base with me, and I'm like, I really would hope more eventually down the line. Do I feel it? I don't know. I don't know what happens in the next year, couple of years down the line. Something you might turn around. All of a sudden, you want to do something new, and you're like, Joey, I'm gonna come hang out with you in Philly for a little bit, and spend time with you, and I'm being situational. Please understand that I'm being situational. I know I'm not expecting that as much as the back of my mind would say that, but building that relationship, I'm enjoying that with you. I really am, and like I said, I'll hear it later, but at the same time, I thank you for letting me bring it out. And I believe me, folks that are on YouTube, she is a Wonder Woman. I will state that from high to low and from left to right, from the East Coast to West Coast, on top of the world. I'll go up the highest mountain and state it. She's a Wonder Woman. She really is. She's one of the greatest people you'll ever get to know. And this has only been 2 weeks. And yes, it sounds like I'm moving fast, but there's so much in a certain amount of time you can pick up, and you get deep. And I've gotten deep so much that it's hurt me. I'll admit that. So that's why I try to watch what I do. And I put that boundary up, like you mentioned earlier about the confidence, because
Mm-hmm.
I get scared. I literally do. I'll get scared, and I'll throw that boundary up there, like I said, if I go to take a walk, or if I go to sit down, most times guys come up to women. Well, I'm now the person who would like to see a woman come up to a guy and say, "Hey, can I sit here and let's chat?" I'm more of the reverse now, because that's old school to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for you to take the step and come on here and really, golly, I'm getting to be beside myself on this. I really am, and I truly thank you for that.
Well, it was my pleasure to be here. It really is great to just connect with people,
Yeah,
especially yourself, be able to just answer some questions and connect on a deeper level, get the voice out there, the message out there.
yeah,
Appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk about the things I'm doing and to be able to just express and be
yeah,
here.
yeah. And the welcome mat is there. I can't state that enough. That welcome, it's nailed right outside your door. Okay, it's nailed outside your door. That welcome mat's like, anytime you want to come on, just tell me, and I will make it happen. I will drop the bucket if I have to do it, because you're that Wonder Woman. You and yes, if it's the first time you're being called that, enjoy it, because I know he may say it in the back of his mind, but I'm saying it because that's who you are. You
Thank
know,
you.
could I wish I was him? About 5 million guys will probably say yes, and see that end of it. But I'll admit I don't have children, so you wouldn't have to worry about that one thing, quote unquote. But Jayna, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thank you. I'm truly beside myself, because I just literally just ripped myself wide open. And am I going to hear the comments on it? Of course I am. They're going to like, why are you so smitten? Well, how can I not be smitten? How can I mean, I'm going to be at a loss of words in a minute, because you're all that and more. You really are. And I mean, I can't stop talking about it, because it's who you are.
Well, I really appreciate that. And I'm happy that you were able to experience this much of me and this many of my layers. I've often been referred to as an onion.
Yeah.
So at least you've been able to experience this many layers of me just through a couple weeks on my Instagram, which hopefully is and it speaks volumes of the content that I put out there, because I do try my very best to share every side of me, whether I'm happy, sad, mad, angry. I always talk about it. And
Yeah.
then I talk about how it is that I got myself back to equilibrium, back to the
Yeah.
happy spot. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that that transfers.
Oh yeah. All I know is I just got to be careful when you do the explicit stuff, quote unquote,
I don't really
because
do too much that's too highly explicit, but I guess
you
anything
know
can
what
be
I'm talking about.
interpreted that way.
Yeah. But you know how no. What I mean by explicit is when that happens, it's that horny mode that you were mentioning before.
So it's the
That's what I
response to the material, not the material itself.
yeah. But the video part, that's what I'm talking about. So Jayna, thank you. And like you
Very
said, that
welcome.
welcome door is wide open. I mean, I can't stress it enough. It's wide open. Anytime you want to come on here, you tell me, we make it happen. And hopefully nobody came on the YouTube channel, which does upset me, but that's been nothing new. I don't know if it doesn't do the live recording itself. I'm still learning that, because what it does is when we get done, it takes a little bit, and then it'll pop up on YouTube
Mhm.
and so on. So I'll send you the link to the podcast itself, and then you share away. And thank you, Jayna.
You're
I
very welcome.
truly thank you for being the most wonderful woman one of the most wonderful women I will ever meet in my life.
Oh,
I could I I'm going to be in tears in about a few minutes because of this, because I opened so much of me that could be dangerous, to me. I'm saying, because not, like I said, the feedback I'll get that I could get on it. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, YouTube viewers, for watching the Life with Joey Cowell YouTube channel. My name is Joey Cowell for Jayna. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you, Jayna. And you take care.